Hello, sweet friends. Okay, another new adventure tonight, y'all. I'm making something that I have never made, and that is going to be some crab cakes. If y'all have noticed, I do not cook, or y'all have probably not seen me cook any kind of fish or seafood, and the reason for that is I'm not a big seafood lover. Like, I do not eat shrimp, I do not eat lobster. But one thing that I do, well, I like tuna fish. I know I've showed y'all my tuna fish, and I like some good fried, like southern fried catfish or crappie. Aside from that, the only other seafood that I eat is crab. I love some crab legs. I love like a spicy crab roll sushi, and I have taken a loving to crab cakes. And so I thought, I've got to learn how to make these. So y'all, I have been studying on these. I have been trying to dissect them when we get them at restaurants. It's usually an appetizer that we will usually get and share, Jay and me. And actually, that's how I kind of started liking them, was he would get them and I'd take a bite and I'm like, oh, I like that. And it just kind of increased, and now I love them and I want to learn how to make them. So let me show y'all this recipe that I have come up with, and it will either be a good one or it won't, but I'm gonna let y'all know. And I'll be honest with you, if I recommend that you make it, and if it don't work out, then we'll try it again another time, okay? So first thing we're going to do, y'all see I got so much stuff out here. I get a little more nervous whenever I'm making something new, but not too bad, because y'all are so good and kind and understanding. All right, so on my little cutting board here, I have some onion and some red bell pepper. Okay, I'm gonna put that in some butter here and saute that up. We want to saute that up before we mix that in with our cakes. Like I said, I have read up on this so much. What I do, y'all, whenever for something, now y'all know I'm all about getting in the kitchen, throwing something together based off what I have. But now, when it comes to making something new like this that I really want to achieve, what I will do is study up on it, read different recipes, and I may take a little bit from this recipe, a little bit from that recipe, and kind of throw it all together and make my own recipe. And that's what I have done here. So I hope it turns out. Okay, so we're going to saute up our peppers and onions. And let's see, I guess we can go ahead and start getting our stuff mixed up. So let me show you what I have. Okay, here is my crab. Let me get I stuck a paper towel down in there. Okay, so I have drained this really good. And y'all, I had the container sitting out here to show you what kind of crab that I had gotten. And just out of habit, I threw it in the garbage. So what I'm going to do, after I post this video, I will look it up, and I will post a picture of it in the comments, just in case anybody is wanting to know, and if they're like me and they've never made them and want to try, okay? If y'all have a favorite kind of crab, y'all let me know in the comments, because like I said, this is brand new to me. I've never even bought crab meat before, okay? So I have 1 pound of lump crab here, 1 pound, okay? And so the first thing I'm going to do, and I like to do this if I make tuna fish or anything like that also, the first thing I like to do is squeeze a little bit of lemon over it. It helps with that fishy taste, as I'm sure y'all know, especially if you're familiar with making stuff like this. And y'all, I'm always open to new tips and ideas. If y'all have any, please let me know. Okay? All right, so let's see. I'm just going to give that a good mix. After we squeeze that lemon in there, we did about half of a lemon, the liquid. Okay. And so now what we're going to do, while our onions and peppers saute up, we're going to do 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. I've got it all written down on exactly how I want to do this. All right. Let's see, I'm just going to scoop this down in there. Let's see, okay. That's 2 tablespoons. And now that makes 3. Okay, let me get this off of here. I'm probably going to need this little measuring thing for some of my other stuff. So y'all, let me wash this off just real quick. Okay, y'all, so far we have our lemon juice and our 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And now we're going to do, I have it written down here that I want to do a teaspoon of our W sauce. So that means I'm just going to splash some in. Okay, and then we're going to do a little squirt of ground mustard. We're just going to squirt some in. Again, maybe about a teaspoon or half. There we go. About half a teaspoon. Okay. And then we are going to do 1.5 teaspoons of Old Bay. Now, of course, I had to get this. I have never even bought an Old Bay, y'all, because I don't ever cook fish. So this is, like I said, this is all a new adventure, but I'm excited about it. Okay, there's one. It says, let me make sure, 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, I want to really get this right from what I have come up with, and I hope it turns out good for y'all, and for me too, because I have really been looking forward to this. Okay, 1.5 teaspoons of Old Bay, and then we're going to do let me wipe this off, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. Okay, garlic salt. Alright, let's see. 1 teaspoon of that. So we're not adding any salt, we're just doing the garlic salt. Okay. Alright, and then half a teaspoon of pepper. Okay, get that up here. Half a teaspoon of pepper. Got that. Alright, we have our pound of crab. Alright, so now we need to do half a cup of the breadcrumbs. Okay, just plain. I got the Walmart brand breadcrumbs. I'll tell y'all one thing I learned when I was researching this about the crab cakes. It's all about the crab, not the cake. I read that on so many recipes that I looked at, so I just want to pass the word along if y'all are not familiar. Okay, and now we need to do 1/4 cup of parsley. I have that right here, as y'all can see. I got some fresh parsley this time for this. I need to chop this up, and let me chop that up, y'all, and I'll come back and we'll add it in. Okay, y'all, so while I had you on pause, I went on ahead, I chopped the parsley up. I finished cooking our peppers and onions, and that way we could go ahead and get this cooled off, because anytime I'm using egg, like if I'm doing meatloaf or something like that, or dressing, and I have something hot like this and I have the eggs, I have such a phobia of having cooked eggs in it, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and throw these in. These are our peppers and onions that we sauteed up, and I feel like this is a really big important part, because I do notice whenever I get crab cakes out in places, it has the really soft red peppers and onions in it. Like I said, y'all, I have been dissecting them and trying to figure out exactly how they make them, because I've had some good ones, and so I wanted to come up with the best recipe I could. All right, so I've got our parsley chopped up. We're going to do about 1/4 of a cup, and this is fresh. Now, if you were doing dry parsley, of course, you always want to cut it down, because dry parsley is always a lot stronger than the regular. So 1/4 cup of that, we're going to toss that in, and you want to save some out for your garnish. Okay, so I'm going to set this to a side over here, and we're going to mix this up a little bit, and then we're going to put our eggs in. I have 2 eggs here that I have already mixed up really good. I hope this is going to be creamy enough. I feel like I need more mayo. I don't know, y'all. I don't know exactly how these are supposed to be. I know they're always so delicate and fluffy, and that's how I want mine to be. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead Make sure it's cool, yeah. And let's put 2 eggs in. Okay. And that is the last thing that we have to put in this little mixture. Yeah, I guess that's gonna help bind them up. Yeah. Now again, if y'all have a little secret something that you love to put in yours, please tell me, because this is something that I have just really taken a liking to. I am telling y'all, I have tried shrimp, lobster, in every kind of way you could possibly do it, and I just cannot make myself like it. I think it's the texture of it. I just cannot do it. I come up with a recipe for some good grilled shrimp for my boys, and they loved it. I said, well, if I was going to eat shrimp, this is how I would eat it. And then they eventually just started cooking it for themselves. But I just can't like it. And I wish I could, because I feel like it opens up so many more food options, you know. All right, so now we're going to pat these out, y'all. Let's see. I have some parchment paper here. I laid this on here earlier, so now it's all wrinkled up, but it will work just fine. All right, let me get you up here, and we're going to pat some of these out, and we're fixing to fry these up. I'm excited, y'all. So I'm just going to use my hand. What I'm going to do is try to put a little bit in my hand, about like that, I guess. And just pat these up in little patties. Like this. Does that look right? Alright, I'm just going to lay them on this parchment paper here. And y'all, I think this amount here will make quite a bit. And you could always cut this down. It just seemed like every single recipe that I read and everything I read about, it said do 1 pound of crab, 1 pound of crab. So I thought, well, okay, for my first time, I'm just going to go ahead and make a whole big batch. And then once I learn a little bit more about it, I can kind of change up the size and amounts or whatever. But like I said, I really wanted to get this right. So, I mean, crab's not cheap. Everything else in this, though, y'all, is just mostly things that you would have. It's not anything that's that expensive. It's mostly just your crab meat, especially if you want to get a good quality. But it's still way cheaper than ordering them out somewhere. I mean, because you get them out somewhere and you're liable to pay, you know, $30 or so for one. I mean, you just don't never know. So, alright. Let's see. Okay, y'all. I ain't going to keep y'all while I pat all of these out. So, let me get these finished up. I'm just going to lay them all out here. I'm trying to keep them about the same size. Maybe I should have got a little scooper. But anyway, I'm going to get all these patted out and I'll come back. Okay, y'all. I have all of our crab cakes patted out. As you can see them here. I have 9 good sized cakes here. So, I mean, it's really worth the price to get the crab because, like I said, you may pay $20, $30 at a restaurant for 1 to 2 cakes, and this makes 9. So, I think this is really a good way to go about it. But anyway, what I read was it said to let these rest for a little bit after you pat them out. So that's what I'm going to do. That's one of the tips that I took in. So I'm going to let these rest, and in the meantime, we're going to make the sauce. Give me just a second. Let me get all that together, and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. I appreciate y'all if you are still with me on this video. This is just such a different adventure for me, I'll tell you. Okay, so for our sauce, we're going to start with 1/2 cup of mayo. Okay, and again, going forward, after I make this, I'll know if I need to kind of cut things down a little bit, if that's too much. But I just mainly wanted to get a recipe together for this for my first time. And then I'll kind of start cutting corners or doing this or doing that if I feel that I want to or need to, okay? So, and I will let y'all know after we get done what I think about it, if you know, you could do less or more. But 1/2 cup of mayo. Let me get y'all down here, goodness. All right, 1/2 cup of mayo. And y'all know the sauce is one of the most important parts of it. So we want a good sauce. Get all that out of there. Okay, let me move this aside. Y'all, I've got a mess in here, I'm going to tell you. Okay, and then we're going to do a little bit of lemon zest. Okay, so I have my other half a lemon here that from what I used earlier. So we're just going to do a little bit of that zest in there. I'm just going to kind of go around it like this. It says 1 teaspoon, but I'm going to do some of the juice too. So we're just going to kind of go around it like this. Oh, here we got some on the bottom too, that's right. Okay, and now we're going to juice this half of lemon in here, the other half from where we did our cakes. We're going to juice that in. It said about, I've got it written down about 2 tablespoons, so that'd be about right. Okay. All right, we have that, and then we're going to do a little bit of relish. And y'all, this is just kind of my little concoction that I come up with. It may not work. I'm gonna do sweet relish. I'm gonna do about 1 teaspoon of sweet relish. And we will just see how it goes. All right, I'm gonna do a little dash of W sauce. Okay, just like that. And I'm gonna do a little bit of garlic. This is just my refrigerator minced garlic. Let's see, I didn't put an amount on here, so I'm just gonna put in just maybe, let's say about 1/2 teaspoon. Let's just throw that much in there. Okay, and we're going to do a little bit of Creole. Gives it that little bit of spice. I guess you could do Old Bay, or I even seen on some recipes where they would put in cayenne. So I think it's just all about what your preference is. This is just what I thought sounded good, so we will see. All right, so we're gonna mix this up and make sure I have everything. It basically looks like a tartar sauce, so I guess that would be about right. All right, I'm gonna taste it. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more relish. About another teaspoon of relish, and I'm gonna do a little bit more Creole. It's very tangy, which you want that, but you know, the lemon is what's gonna give it that, and I think that's the whole point of it. But we'll let this rest for a minute while we cook our crab cakes, and then we will try it with our cakes and see how it does. So that's our sauce, y'all. And y'all know I always get a huge bowl just because I like to have a lot of mixing room. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to get our crab cakes out. I'm going to get our skillet back heated up over here, y'all. And we're going to fry these things up. Okay, y'all, I have everything cleaned up here, and now we are ready to put our crab cakes in. I did about 1 tablespoon of butter and about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, so we're just going to place these in there. They look good, if nothing else, I'll tell you that. They do look pretty. Let's see, so... Alright, so we'll do 4 and then we'll do 5 on that last batch. We'll just do it like that, because I'm afraid if I try to put all these in here, it's going to really crowd my skillet. So let's just do it like that. I'll do it in 2 batches. Let me move this over. And from what I have learned, y'all, You know, you want to cook these pretty slow. Everything is done. I guess the main thing is getting the egg cooked in it really good. So I'm going to cook these on this side, I think, for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then I'm going to flip them. And I'll come back whenever I flip them. Okay, y'all, so this was just 4 minutes on that one side. And you can see, I mean, they've gotten pretty brown. I would say this one might be a little too brown. These other ones look good. So, I'm going to watch this other side and make sure that I don't cook it that as long. Okay, I don't know if I had my skillet. I mean, I have it way down on medium. So, like I said, this is all a learning process for me. But I'm going to tell you what I like to do. And this is something I just come up with myself. I melted a little bit of butter, and in here I put just a smidge of garlic and a little bit of parsley. And so, after I flip them, just brushing them like this. Just a little bit. Maybe something just to help give a little bit of moisture. A bit of flavor, I don't know. Let's see what the other side looks like now. It's just, like I said, this is all trial and error for me, y'all. Alright, I just flipped these, so I'm going to let these cook just a few minutes. I think maybe about a minute less than what I let the other side cook. And I have turned it down a little bit. I have it under medium now, so we'll see. I'll come back. Okay, y'all, I have my first batch out, so I'm going to show you how I am going to serve these up. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of that sauce down. I'm just going to brush that down like that on a little plate or just whatever you want to do on. And then I'm going to get these two here because they look like they've cooked the best. Now, honestly, I don't think it's really the amount of time that I cooked them. I think it's just my skillet got a little bit too hot. So just keep that in mind if you're new like me and you've never made these. I think that was more of the issue than anything else. Okay, now I'm going to garnish these. Let me get this out of the way. Let me get y'all down here. The last time that we ordered crab cakes out, they garnished them with a little bit of green onion and some very finely sliced red bell pepper. And y'all, that crunch was so good. I loved it. So that's what I decided that I wanted to do that. So I'm just going to garnish these with a little bit of that, the pepper, the onion, especially the green onion. You know, because the crab cake is so soft, that little crunch made all the difference in the world. I loved it. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do a little bit of our parsley, our fresh parsley. Okay, and like I said, y'all seen me put that little bit of sauce down there on the plate. I'm going to put a little bit in this bowl for extra sauce. Like if I was going to serve this to somebody, this is how I would do it. Okay, and I'm going to just slide this in right here. And this is how I would do it. Right here. They look pretty. If nothing else, they look good. Let's see here. See that? Don't they look good? I can't get my camera right tonight, y'all. But we got that sauce there. We have the little crab cakes on there. Okay, let's do the taste test. I'm nervous as all get out. Hang on, let me give me a fork. Okay, because y'all, I've had some really good crab cakes. So we will see. Alright, I'm just going to get, I like for it to just pull apart. And that's what it's doing. I'm going to put me a little bit of the green onion on there, a little piece of that pepper. Because y'all, I'm telling you what, that made all the difference in the world. I loved it. Okay, let's see here. I feel like I have the perfect bite. A little sauce, a little bit of the garnish. Not bad at all for my first time. I feel like I could use a little bit of salt. Maybe just a smidge of salt. You know, I did the garlic salt instead of just regular salt. Let me try again. I'm proud of those, especially for my first time. I could eat both of these, y'all. And I'm picky about foods like this. Like I said, I'm not a big seafood eater. And I'm picky. And I think this is really good. Yep. The only thing that I think I will do different next time is either add a little more garlic salt or do that plus a little bit of regular salt or sea salt or kosher salt or whatever. And then I will definitely watch my oil and not let it get too hot, because I think you really should probably cook these about 5 minutes each side to get that egg good and done, but you just don't want to cook it too high. So I think I need to, for my next batch, I'm going to crank the skillet down just a little bit. I might sprinkle a little salt over the top of those since I've not cooked them yet. And I think that'll make all the difference. But these are really good. This is a good recipe. Now, like I said, if y'all have any tips, if you've made these, please share it. I love to learn just like y'all love to learn. I know this video is running kind of long. It's just one of those things that it's just kind of so many different things to show. But these are great. They don't have a fishy taste to them. They're really good. They're delicate. The flavor's good. Like I said, a little bit of salt. I think that'll be it. Okay, y'all. Well, thank y'all. If you have watched this whole video, thank you for hanging in there with me. This has just become a new favorite food of mine, so I wanted to learn how to make it. And I'll just continue on trying to do it until I feel like I have it perfected. But these are pretty good. All right, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.